Mo Wilson is a 25-year-old prodigy.
A promising young woman with her whole life ahead of her.
The last thing that Mo Wilson did on this earth on May 11th, 2022 at 9:15 p.m. was scream in terror.
Suddenly, cut tragically short.
She's not awake. There's blood all over her face and all on the back of her head.
I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
Her murder, a targeted attack.
It was personal, so she shot her in the heart.
The trail begins with her lover.
I knew she was with her friend Colin.
Apparently last night she passed away.
And soon leads to his lover.
No one else in the world was angry that their boyfriend was out with Mo Wilson. Just her.
While Colin was talking to us, your name came up.
I would like to leave. I'm free to leave.
Okay.
The prime suspect in the case soon flees the country, hiding in plain sight.
Armstrong altered her physical appearance. She dyed her hair brown. Armstrong used different names, aliases. Armstrong used these names at yoga studios and other lodging since her arrival in Costa Rica.
A months-long international manhunt ends with an arrest. But will there be justice?
When you shot Moriah in the heart, you shot me in my heart. There's no winner in this story.
This is Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie. Every year in mid-May, hundreds of cyclists flock to Central Texas for the annual Gravel Locos race. It's a 100-mile bike race across rural, dirt, and gravel roads, putting elite bikers to the test. And that's where this story begins, with a bike race. It ends with a race too, but a different kind. That will be a race against the clock, as investigators work to zero in on an accused killer. Because in 2022, the 25-year-old woman favored to win the race doesn't even suit up. Instead, just 3 days before the starter pistol signifies the race is on, another gunshot is fired.
She stood over her after she shot her in the head twice and put another bullet right in her heart.
On May 18, 1996, Anna Moriah Wilson was born in Littleton, New Hampshire. While her legal name was Anna, those closest to her knew she went by the nickname Mo. And by all accounts, Mo was one of a kind. Her family remembers her as loving, a great listener, and someone who was dedicated to the things she loved. Here's Mo's close friend, Caitlin Cash.
Mo once said, "If we're not willing to risk catastrophic failure, we're probably not dreaming, living, or loving the right way." That is profound. That is powerful. That is Mo.
Mo grew up in Kirby, Vermont, a small town just across the border from New Hampshire, nestled in the Green Mountains that Vermont is known for. Mo's hometown is known for its untouched beauty. Quiet lakes, mountains, hills, and trails, perfect for hiking, skiing, or biking. And it was the latter two that really set Mo on fire. At just 17 years old, Mo took home a bronze medal at the 2013 U.S. Ski and Snowboard Junior Championships. After she graduated high school in 2014, she enrolled at the prestigious Dartmouth College, where she continued to ski, even holding a space on the school's alpine ski team. Mo graduated from Dartmouth in 2019 with a Bachelor's of Arts in Engineering. And it was around this time that she began to shift her focus from skiing to cycling. Mo ate, slept, and breathed cycling. According to her obituary, Mo literally shifted gears to become an elite bike racer. Even her job post-grad was working at Specialized Bicycle Components, a company that sells all kinds of bikes, equipment, and apparel. But in 2022, Mo decided to leave behind her work at Specialized and become a full-time professional cyclist. And that's what led Anna Moriah Mo Wilson to Austin, Texas in May 2022, where her life ends and this case begins. It's now May 11th, 2022, and Mo is in Austin. She's in town for the Gravel Locos race that's set for Saturday, May 14th in nearby Hico, Texas. But Mo decides to come to the area early and is staying with her good friend, Caitlin Cash, who lives in an apartment just minutes from Austin's downtown. But Mo meets up with another friend too, Colin Strickland. Colin is also a professional cyclist. That's how he and Mo met. They actually had a brief relationship in October 2021. For years before that, Colin was in a long-term relationship with his girlfriend and business partner, Caitlin Armstrong. But in fall 2021, he and Caitlin broke up briefly. So for those few weeks, Colin and Mo had a thing until he got back with Caitlin. By May 2022, all of this seems to be a thing of the past. It's just two friends catching up and spending the day together, right? Here's how Colin describes spending May 11th, 2022 with Mo.
No. We went to Deep Eddy yesterday afternoon, and then we drove her and I dropped her at her the apartment she's been staying at.
After spending the day together, Colin drives Mo back to the apartment on his BMW motorcycle. He will be one of the last people to see Mo alive. When Caitlin Cash returns to her apartment, she finds a disturbing scene.
Austin 911, do you need police, fire department, EMS, or mental health services?
I need EMS. My friend is staying with me, and I just walked in, and she's laying on the bathroom floor, and there's blood everywhere. And I don't know what happened. I can't tell what happened.
Okay, I'll tell you what to do. I just need to gather a little bit more information. What's your name?
My name is Caitlin.
Caitlin, are you with her now?
Yes, I'm with her now.
Mo Wilson has been shot 3 times, twice to the head and once to the heart.
Is she awake?
She's not awake. There's blood all over her face and all on the back of her head.
Is she breathing?
No, she's not breathing.
Okay, I'm getting help started right now, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, okay?
Okay.
I've got the paramedics on the way to help you. Stay on the line, Caitlin.
Okay.
If the defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
It's not. I'm just in my house.
Okay. Listen carefully. Are you right by her now, Caitlin?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Lay her flat on her back on the floor and remove anything under her head. Let me know when that's done.
Caitlin Cash proceeds to perform more than 100 chest compressions on Mo as she waits for paramedics to arrive.
I want you to know that I fought for Mo with everything I had that night. From the moment that I got home and started doing chest compressions, which was the longest 10 minutes of my entire life, I remember feeling so relieved when the police arrived, that help was finally there. People who really knew what they were doing and who could help me care for her.
I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
Sit down. Okay.
Even still, it's too late.
I asked one of the officers why they weren't bringing her down. And that's when he told me that she unfortunately didn't make it. That was the first moment that night when I realized that there was no coming back from this. I think I had just assumed that as soon as she was taken to a hospital, that she was going to be okay. It never actually crossed my mind in the chaos of that night that she wouldn't be alive, that she would die, that she was already dead when I arrived home.
Just minutes after they arrive to the scene, investigators find key evidence, including shell casings and Mo's bike.
There's a shell casing right here. There's a shell casing right here next to my right knee. What? There's a shell casing to my right of me.
Okay. All right. Over there. At 432, I located the bike.
Caitlin will spend 3 hours tonight speaking to police, recounting every detail of the evening.
They finally let me wash the blood off my hands in the police station bathroom. And I'll never forget that moment in the bathroom. Watching the sink turn red and wanting to put it back on my hands because it was the only thing I had left of her.
But before that heartbreaking moment, Caitlin Cash must recount everything from the beginning.
What's her name?
Her name is Moriah, Moriah Wilson. Wilson. Moriah is her middle name. Her first name is Anna.
A-N-N-A?
I believe so, yes.
What's her date of birth, do you know?
Okay.
Do you know her birthday?
I don't know.
Do you know the day and month?
No, I know she's 26.
She's 26? Okay.
How did you guys...
Does she have like a license or wallet up there at all? Do you know?
I mean, she should.
Okay.
Yeah, she
You said
should.
she's from San Francisco?
Well, she's from Vermont, but she's living in San Francisco.
And she came to visit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's here for a bike race this weekend.
As Caitlin Cash explains, earlier in the day, Mo met up with Colin Strickland.
Colin? You said Colin
Strickland.
Strickland? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know where Colin Strickland is or anything
No,
like
but I
that?
have his phone number. I can call him. Or I can give you his phone number.
We'll get all that information from you. You said, so she went swimming with Colin Strickland?
She went swimming. I left to go have dinner with my friends, and then I came back, and this is my house.
That's your house?
This is my house. She's staying with me.
What's Colin's date of birth? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old
You know
is he?
how old is he?
He's like 35, maybe.
Are you guys friends? You and him are friends, or?
I mean, like acquaintances.
What car he drives?
I don't know what car he drives. He's a cyclist.
A cyclist? Does
Yeah.
he live in this area?
He lives in South Austin.
Do you know his address by any chance?
No.
Caitlin may not know the address, but investigators soon learn it. They catch up with Colin Strickland the following day.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the
Hey, so Colin, is that your first name? Yes. Hey, so do you know Anna? Mo.
Anna Mo.
Yeah, everybody calls her Mo. Monica. Last name is Wilson. Rider, she's a gravel rider.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so there's really no easy way to say this, sir. So apparently last night she passed away.
How did that happen?
Right now it's an open investigation, but it is being investigated as a homicide.
Colin is cooperative with investigators, explaining he did have a romantic relationship with Mo, but only for a few weeks. Now he's back with his longtime girlfriend and business partner, Caitlin Armstrong.
I really love her. I've been not convinced that there's like that I want to be like life partners with her. I want to kind of feel like we'd be better business partners and friends, and she's a wonderful person, super helpful to have around and really sweet. So it really hasn't been like a thing that's felt, there's no like screaming or yelling or anything like drama.
Has Caitlin ever gotten so mad in the past that, not necessarily thinking that she would do anything, you know, but I mean, has she ever threatened anything, or?
She's always seemed like such a my gentle person.
At this point, Caitlin Armstrong is already on police radar. A black Jeep is seen near the crime scene around the time of Mo's murder, and a strikingly similar vehicle is in the driveway of Colin's house, Caitlin Armstrong's SUV.
Colin, knowing Caitlin's vehicle is there, what do you think took place?
I can't imagine. I know both these people and I just can't imagine. It's just so far beyond the realm of reality that I live in, or I thought. So that's what I'm struggling.
I'm asking you what you think. Is she capable of doing something like this?
I wouldn't be living with a person who I think is capable of doing this. I would never, in a million years, have someone in their house with my mother who I think is capable of this. So the answer is no. I don't believe it. that's my perspective of the world.
Colin says he doesn't believe it. Caitlin Armstrong would never do something like this. She's kind and gentle. Even still, investigators want to speak to Caitlin herself. She's picked up on an unrelated warrant for a theft of service related to a 2018 Botox injection. Investigators use this opportunity to question Caitlin at Austin Police Headquarters.
So there was a warrant that they thought was you. Because of the name, apparently the date of birth was off, okay? So there was some miscommunication on that. So, but I would really like to talk to you and clear some stuff up, because Colin did bring your name up, and I think there's a lot more information that you have that can kind of clear some stuff up. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel like I should have an attorney present.
So that's totally your choice. So at this point, you are free to leave at any point. So this is going to be consensual at this point because you're not under arrest, okay? So everything we say here, you're going to leave. You're not under arrest. You're not going to go to jail right now. Nothing like that, okay? Because that warrant is not good. All right, it belongs to somebody else apparently. So everything that we say in here is just consensual at this point. The door is unlocked. You can leave at any time. So
I would love to leave.
You would love to leave.
You just arrested me in front of my house, in front of all of my neighbors, and carried me in here in handcuffs in front of downtown Austin. It was incredibly humiliating.
Only imagine, yeah. And I'm so sorry. I don't have control over that part, okay?
Yeah, I'm not upset with you.
Yeah. So let me kind of explain some stuff. So there's a situation that's going on. Did you hear about what's happened over the past 24 hours?
Colin walked in the house and said one of the women in the cycling community passed away.
Yes, yeah. While Colin was talking to us, your name came up, and it sounds like there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it sounds like, you know, Colin's been maybe talking to this girl for a little bit and kind of threw your name in there. I think there's a lot more, because I think that, you know, I think you might be saying some stuff, and I want to get your side of it, okay? Because there's always two parts of it. When we hear just his side of the story, he's got a very different version of everything that's going on, okay? Usually there's a lot more, and there's a lot more background explaining a lot of things. And so when we only hear one side, it only gives us one side to work with. Does that make sense?
I suppose, yes.
So that's where I would really like to talk to you, because it sounds like there were some issues between you and this girl, and I think that there's probably a lot more to it that you could help explain. There's maybe some explanations for a lot of things that happen, and I think it would be very beneficial to get that side of the story so that we can clear it up.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you mean or what information you'd like.
Well, so it sounds like, you know, it sounds like maybe he went out with this girl the other day, and maybe it sounds like from what he's saying that you were a little upset about it. And so that's why I kind of wanted to get your side of it, because that's not fair if he's just saying one thing and trying to go down a route, and I want to make sure that's not the case.
That is not accurate.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to chat with you, because it's a guy. He's going to say stuff, and so we want to make sure that we get both sides of the story and everything and clear it up. So what were you doing yesterday?
I would like to leave, I think.
You would like to leave?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, if that's completely your choice, but understand if you do, then we only have one side of the story to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we're hearing from Colin, you know, it's one side, and I think it would be very beneficial to get the other side of it and kind of explain a little bit more of kind of what's going on actually.
Well, I just am uncertain as to even what you mean or what he could have said, because I didn't have any idea that he saw or went out with this girl.
Okay, yeah.
Recently.
Has he been like talking to her
I would
on
like
the
to
side?
leave. I
Okay.
don't actually know, and I would like to leave.
Okay. So, okay, that's totally your choice. And the door's open, you're welcome to leave. But again, that limits us to where we only have one side of the story. And your vehicle was seen next to her house, and we needed to talk about that, okay? Because when he's saying this stuff and then your vehicle is seen, like, I want to be able to explain, okay, there's a logical explanation for this. Maybe you were upset and you were just in the area or something. Like, I don't know, because I don't have your story. Does that make sense? Because I want to be able to explain that. Okay, when I can't explain that and all I see is that your vehicle's over there, that kind of makes it look not too good, right? Okay, and then when we're talking to Colin and we're hearing like, yeah, there was some jealousy stuff going on, like, that doesn't sound very good. And so that's why I really want to get your side of the story, because maybe there's a lot more going on.
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay.
Caitlin isn't under arrest, so she's free to leave. And just like that, she slips through investigators' grasp and triggers a 6-week-long international manhunt. While some investigators follow Caitlin's trail out of the country, others back in Austin slowly begin to put the pieces together, placing Caitlin Armstrong at the crime scene the night of the murder. They track down Caitlin's Jeep. It's been sold to a CarMax dealership for $12,200. On top of this, investigators are able to tap into Caitlin's search history, learning she stalked Mo's Instagram account the day of the murder and used Mo's Strava account to track her location that same day. Armed with this information, officials feel they have a strong case and a likely murder suspect. But when it comes time to arrest Caitlin Armstrong, she's nowhere to be found. It's almost as if Caitlin has vanished into thin air. Days go by, then weeks, then months. Even a $21,000 reward is offered for information leading to Caitlin's whereabouts. The world is radio silent until finally a break in the case.
I'm here to announce that Caitlin Armstrong was captured on June 29th by foreign officials in the Republic of Costa Rica.
And here's where the case takes another turn. Caitlin Armstrong is detained in Costa Rica on an immigration violation. So it's clear Caitlin fled the country, but it gets even weirder.
The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force learned during the investigation that Armstrong fled the Austin area on May 14th at approximately 12:30 p.m. when she boarded a flight from Austin Bergstrom International Airport to Hobby Airport in Houston, Texas, and then got a connecting flight to New York LaGuardia Airport. The Lone Star Fugitive Task Force contacted the United States Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas, here in the Austin Division, to obtain a warrant on Armstrong for an unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, when it was evident on video surveillance and boarding passes that Armstrong had fled the Austin area, days after being interviewed by Austin authorities. Members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force followed up that investigation and contacted the U.S. Marshals New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force and the U.S. Marshals in the Eastern District of Michigan to continue investigative efforts where interviews and surveillance were established. During an interview, it was learned through a confidential source that Armstrong was transported to the Newark International Airport in New Jersey. And at that time, the direction of travel was unknown.
But it's soon learned.
Armstrong boarded a United flight from Newark International Airport on May 18th and arrived in San Jose, Costa Rica at approximately 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Armstrong boarded the flight and fled to international territory by presenting a passport that did not belong to her, but belonged to someone that was closely associated with her.
Caitlin travels all over, from San Jose to Jaco Beach and finally to Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. And for the 43 days Caitlin is on the run, she uses aliases to remain undetected and even undergoes plastic surgery, changing her appearance to avoid capture.
Armstrong, according to foreign officials, Armstrong altered her physical appearance. She dyed her hair brown She cropped her hair shorter to about shoulder length and had a bandage on her nose where she claimed it was from a surfboard incident just days before. It was discovered Armstrong used different names, aliases, under the alias of Beth Martin, Liz, and Ari Martin, who she advised to uniformed officials at Don John's hostel in Costa Rica. Armstrong used these names at yoga studios and other lodging since her arrival in Costa Rica on May 18th. Officials involved in the investigation conducted old-fashioned law enforcement techniques, went door to door, conducted multiple interviews, going from yoga establishment to other yoga establishments, and also made contact with lodging venues that she had left behind, which then paved the way where Armstrong was detained by authorities at the Don John's hostel located in Santa Teresa Beach in Costa Rica. Armstrong was detained there in Costa Rica on the immigration violation for that fraudulent use of a passport. Armstrong was transported back to San Jose following a 6-hour drive from the hostel to San Jose, Costa Rica, where Armstrong eventually confessed to her true identity.
With that, Caitlin is brought back to United States soil and charged with first-degree murder. Just 19 days before her trial is set to begin, Caitlin once again slips through the fingers of officials. It's now October 2023, and Caitlin has a routine medical appointment away from the Travis County Jail. While there, she attempts to escape, momentarily breaking free from sheriff's deputies. Days later, prosecutors point to the irony.
And I also told you that 19 days before this trial, she escaped from the sheriff's department. Now, I'm going to tell you the irony of this. We picked this jury on October 30th. We started our evidence on November the 1st, Dia de las Muertas, the Day of the Dead, November the 1st. It's a day that the Mexican-American culture celebrate those who have gone before them. We started this evidence on the Day of the Dead. So you see from this video here? You see her? She's not just running from the sheriff's department. No, sir. That's 19 days before this trial. She's running from you, and 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 she's running from all of you on the back row, because you are a jury of her peers. Everybody deserves their day in court, and she got hers. Never seen so much evidence in my life against one person.
At trial, prosecutors will lay out all that evidence, from motive to actual DNA.
No one else in the world had a 6-hour P365 and left their DNA at the scene. Nobody else in the world fit that description. No one else in the world was angry that their boyfriend was out with Mo Wilson. Just her. No one else in the world had their Jeep circling 1708B Maple for an hour before you heard that 915 shot. No one else in the world matched that description. That's what you do when you got nothing. You pick on the detective and you talk to him about where you didn't look. Not the mountain of evidence that we have. You try to distract you from that. And finally, no one else in the world left the scene of the murder in Caitlin Armstrong's Jeep that was parked in that alley from 8:40 p.m., 2 minutes after the murder. We don't need no one else in the world to make these facts that came from that chair true.
Caitlin's Jeep becomes a large topic of conversation.
The video evidence shows us that Caitlin was circling 1708 maybe about an hour. Shows us her Jeep in the alley 1 minute before Mo unlocked the door. Cell phone corroborates the GPS.
And GPS trackers put her Jeep at the scene of the crime at the time of the murder.
Puts it there at 8:40, has it leaving about 9:17, and has it driving up at her home at 9:50. Her Jeep, her GPS, pulled out of her car at CarMax. And the DNA on the bike puts her at the scene. Proof that Caitlin was there when Mo Wilson was shot. Gunshots at 9:15. Jeep parked in the alley, leaves after the gunshots. Caitlin's DNA on the bike. Shell casings that matched the gun. And like Detective Ramirez said, it was personal. So she shot her in the heart after she's all on the ground based on the exit of that bullet. Now, when the defense expert got up there, he said 3 times, and I'm like, whoa. DNA tells us who was there. I agree. That's their expert, not ours. Our expert was more cautious talking about the ratio. He said DNA tells us who was there.
When the case finally goes to trial, prosecutors paint a heartbreaking picture of Mo's life cut short.
Mo Wilson is a 25-year-old prodigy. Everybody in the cycling community that testified kind of shook their head about how good she was, and she was new at it. A prodigy. Taken from Matt and Mr. and Miss Wilson at the age of 25. Caitlin Cash over there on the front row. When I talked to her, call me Cash. Caitlin killed my friend. That's why we call her Cash. Caitlin with a Caesars. Poor thing don't even like her own name.
Prosecutors rely heavily on Caitlin Cash, Mo's good friend, who fought to keep her alive after arriving home to a gruesome crime scene.
She pumped her friend's heart over 100 times. You heard it on the 911 call. For 10 minutes until the first responders got there. Not knowing she'd probably been dead for 45 minutes.
I remember waking up a few hours later in my dad's bed with my sister and realizing that it wasn't a dream, that it was all real. I'd asked the detective over and over again the previous night when and how they were going to notify Mo's family. For what felt like an eternity the next morning, I waited for her mom and dad to call me. Finally, Karen called me, and it was the hardest phone call of my life. She was wailing, screaming. She wasn't speaking words at first. It was raw and guttural. It was the vocalization of grief. Her world had stopped. She was confused and in disbelief. She kept saying over and over again, who would ever want to hurt my baby?
The answer to that question points to the defendant, Caitlin Armstrong.
The last thing that Mo Wilson did on this earth on May 11th, 2022 at 9:15 p.m. was scream in terror.
Even Caitlin's closest friends knew something was off.
Let's talk about her best friends, one of them. One of them says she's a friend, one of them says she's a best friend. She told Jacqueline Chastain about the gun a month after it was purchased. Nicole Mertz said, I've never seen her that upset before, and that's why I remember. Never seen her that upset before. These are her friends. We called them, but they were her friends. You heard them. Don't let anybody recharacterize a relationship. Those two ladies got on the stands and said, we are her friends, and one of them said, she's my best friend. And we know Caitlin called Mo Wilson to confront her about Kate. We know that from the cell phone records. Now, we don't know exactly what she said, So I'm not going to put that out there. But we know she called her. And we know Colin texted her and said, WTF. And we all know what that means. And what's even more chilling is that when the defendant's two best friends heard that Mo Wilson was dead, they called the police, unsolicited, and they said, you better check her out. You better look at her. So that's the evidence that you have to work with. Her best friend called the police on her.
Prosecutors feel they have enough. The security camera video of the Jeep, the GPS, Caitlin's DNA, and a motive. Caitlin wanted Mo dead because she was jealous of Mo's relationship with Colin. But the defense pushes back. But in the end, it's easy for the jury to decide the fate of Caitlin Armstrong.
The defendant will please rise. In cause number D1DC 22301-129, the State of Texas versus Caitlin Armstrong, verdict of the jury. We, the jury, find the defendant, Caitlin Armstrong, guilty of the offense of murder as alleged in the indictment, signed by the presiding juror on today's date, 2:14 p.m. You may be seated.
At Caitlin's sentencing, Mo's closest friends and family speak, including Caitlin Cash.
Mo once said, if we're not willing to risk catastrophic failure, we're probably not dreaming, living, or loving the right way. I'm going to read that one more time. If we're not willing to risk catastrophic failure, we're probably not dreaming, living, or loving the right way. That is profound. That is powerful. That is Mo. She was not afraid to break things to make them better. That's what she's doing to each of us. She's breaking us down and teaching us how to rebuild the world around us in a deeper, more meaningful way. And for that, we have to be grateful. We have to be grateful to her for living with such poise and vibrancy, for truly seeing those around her as they were, for pushing us to do better and to be better humans. Those closest to her knew she had no limits, and it was an honor, a privilege, to be in her orbit, even for only a short time. Even after all of this, I feel hope. I hope that I can live a life that she would be proud of, and I'll carry her with me each day. I choose light, I choose joy, and I choose love. And Caitlin, I really hope that you can find that too.
Mo's mother also gives a heartbreaking statement.
I hate what you did to my beautiful daughter. It was very selfish and cowardly, that violent act on May 11th. It was cowardly because you never chose to face her woman to woman in a civil conversation. She would have listened. She was an amazing listener. She would have cared about your feelings. She was a caring, empathetic person. If you allowed yourself to actually know her, you never, ever would have wanted to hurt her. This never would have happened. You and Colin could have had a beautiful life together. You destroyed that. You ruined your life, your family's lives, our lives, and crushed the hearts of many more. When you shot Moriah in the heart, you shot me in my heart. You shot Eric and Matt in their hearts. You shot Moriah's cousins and aunts and uncles, and all the people who loved her, pierced their hearts. You will have to live with your choices and its consequences, just like all of us do on this planet. Because you are a human being, created in the image of God. I pray for your healing. The only way that can begin is to admit your guilt, own your actions, and seek forgiveness. There's no winner in this story. Your actions have caused all sides to suffer. There's a ripple effect, sorrow on sorrow on sorrow.
And finally, Caitlin's fate is delivered.
This court hereby sentences you to 90 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and a $10,000 fine as imposed by the jury. You may be seated.
Caitlin Armstrong is serving her 90-year sentence at a women's state prison in Gatesville, Texas. She will be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. An appeal to overturn her conviction was denied in January 2026. Meanwhile, Anna Moriah Mo Wilson's legacy lives on. Her family created the Moriah Wilson Foundation, raising thousands of dollars to support youth biking programs. They're even a sponsor of the Gravel Locos race, the one Mo was set to compete in just days after her murder. A bright light is cut short far too soon. Years later, everyone involved still trying to pick up the pieces and make sense of a senseless tragedy. This has been Crimes of Passion by Law&Crime. I'm Sierra Gillespie.